Quantity versus quality, patient care and efficiency in a healthcare setting. Working as a clinical researcher at a large hospital, I witnessed the immense amount of pressure on nurses' shoulders. I've watched many give up their lunch hours and put off something as seemingly small as a bathroom break in order to ensure their patients and workload are addressed. As our number of patients climb, so do the responsibilities of our nurses. How can we find a balance between providing personal, quality care and efficiency in patient turnover? A balance is hard to strike as industry rules have time frames for patient turnover and are increasing patients per nurse in order to cut costs on staffing. On the postpartum unit alone, new moms are to be discharged within 24 or 48 hours depending on their method of delivery. At my hospital alone, there are about 10,000 births a year, which means nurses are caring for over 200 patients a week. That is incredibly intense. 200 patients requiring personal and professional care with varying levels of need and ideally going home within 1 to 2 days after giving birth. As the health industry grows, it seems unfair that nurses be asked to limit their patient interaction for the sake of this efficiency. With demands to improve patients' clinical outcomes and decrease the escalating cost of inpatient care, nurse executives are focusing on how nurses spend their time rather than just raising staffing levels to positively impact patient encounters. Sign-in sheets are posted outside each door, and each time a nurse visits, and this is at my hospital, I'm not sure what other hospitals do, the nurse must log the time spent, and the reason. In addition to the nurse doing this, the lactation consult, cleaning person, janitorial manager, cafeteria worker, cafeteria manager, nurse manager, pediatrician, OB, hearing tester, photographer, pharmacy tech, birth certificate, clinical researcher, and financial department must all visit and sign in on this sheet as well. Other relevant nurse staffing studies found a significant effect of higher nurse-to-patient ratios on nurse outcomes, including turnover, burnout, job dissatisfaction, and intent to leave. With the amount a nurse must accomplish in between her other patients and all the other hospital services vying for time, it's no wonder bathroom and food breaks are rare. It's also not surprising that after doing this day in and day out, hospitals experience high turnover, given numbers at even larger hospitals may exceed 10,000 births a year. And remember, that's births, so that is just the birthing center alone. How can health systems help their staff balance expectations of patient care and ever-growing efficiency requirements? We can take a look at the dialogic theory. The dialogic theory brings healthcare back to its original intent, caring for the patient. This theory focuses on the interpersonal relationship between provider and patient. A patient's interaction with their provider greatly impacts their satisfaction of care. It is important for leadership to understand this. Unfortunately, in my experience, it is not uncommon for leadership teams to be made up of folks with little to no patient experience. Without that, how can they expect to understand a patient's needs and the nurse's responsibilities? Healthcare systems face a number of challenges. Quality of care and quantity of care has an overwhelming number of layers. For example, hospitals must consider budgetary constraints, national pressure for new initiatives, stress to create and maintain a high level of care in all arenas, efficiency in number of patients treated due to ever-increasing volumes of visitors as the health system grows, and, most importantly, employee satisfaction. In order to address these challenges and begin the conversation, leadership must utilize their nurses and staff, creating work groups, hosting roundtables, and speaking with their staff members on a regular basis. If suggestions are made for improvement, offering a suggestion box for them to live in isn't enough. Listen to your nurses. When feasible, give them something that they've asked for. If they want a new piece of gym equipment, you got it. If you want more salad bar options, absolutely. Within any organization are competing goods that must be negotiated in order for the organization to carry out its work. If this negotiation does not occur, the dwelling place loses its vitality and declines. Without the support of staff, a company may experience high turnover rates, dissatisfaction in the workplace resulting in low morale, and eventually low rating in the eyes of the national stage. The use of extended work shifts and overtime has escalated as hospitals cope with a shortage of registered nurses. The takeaway for this is if you can make your staff a part of the conversation, they will feel more invested in its mission. How can future researchers move forward on finding a solution? Interview staff. No one knows better than those doing the job. Talk to the department heads and leadership. Putting a bug or bugs in the ears of those who have influence will start the conversation. I always think of that saying, treat others how you want to be treated. Do you want to feel rushed during your hospital stay? Do you want your nurse to be overwhelmed? Do you want to be seen as a discharge number by leadership or as a human being that deserves quality of care? My mother was a nurse for 33 years, and I sincerely hope it does not take another 30 years to resolve this issue.